Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. Welcome back to another exciting episode of FlawlessDreams Radio Show with your girl, Leland Shipp. Thank you for joining me today. It is now 6:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the dot. And if you were wondering what the forecast was for this week, it is 85 degrees today, and it's definitely going to rain. It's going to pour down, and we need it because we've been without rain for a hot minute. So that's what it's looking like. But next week is going to follow through with some showers, mostly cloudy. We're going to pick up some sun on Tuesday, and then Friday some more sun, and then definitely hit some more rain as we go. Other than that, that's your forecast from your girl, Leland Shipp, right here. We love you. Love you so much. I think that it's important to remember that as a writer, if you shout out to all the writers out there, take your time and don't rush the process, because you really want to make sure that whatever it is that you're writing, you're getting your message across the right way. Whatever message that is in your novel, your book, your poem, whatever that is, and move us, inspire. Well, definitely somebody has inspired so many people right now as we speak. And it's no surprise that I have to interview him because he's awesome. Definitely amazing. I want to welcome Leland Shipp to the show. Hello, how are you doing?
Hey, Lily, I'm doing well. Good to see you again.
Thank you so much for joining us. Could you please share with everybody where they can find you on all social media platforms?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm on, you can find me at www.lelandshipp.com. You can find me on Facebook at Leland Shipp. You can find me on Instagram at Leland Shipp Books. And right now, that's probably the best places to locate me.
And this is exactly where people can go if they would like to purchase any one of your books.
Yes, they can track it. I got links on all those social media plus the website itself. So
how long have you been a writer?
I've probably written all my life. Whether or not I've taken it serious, of course, I had children I had to raise. So once they kind of got older, I was able to spend more quality time with writing. I had just had tons of spirals where I'd had ideas from way back that I've kind of turned and used nowadays to create some of my novels and things. So I've really written all my life. I just never really had a lot of time to take it serious, and now I am.
That is so cool that you continued. I like it when people are relentless and they just keep doing what they love. But what inspired you to get in to be a writer?
Well, I've always, since I was a kid, I used to get taken to a lot of different movies, and I'm not going to say too many of them because it'll really tell you how old I really am. But anyway, I just know that when I saw different movies, particularly Raiders of the Lost Ark, Star Wars, Jaws, E.T., The Goonies.
Oh, good movies. These are
all
great
of those
movies. What do you mean? Yes.
Yeah, all of those movies like that. And I just saw it. It was amazed about it, and I was like, man, one day I want to be part of that magic, and that kind of pushes me to write. But also, when people have bought my books and they talk to me, I get a real thrill out of how they are impacted by my writing and the stories, and that really drives me to keep going and to stay disciplined. That's a big word for me. I try to write 1,000 words a day, 5 times a week. So that's 5,000 words a week, not just any words, but real words that are making sense that I can put into books. So,
right. And are there any type of elements that you particularly like to use when you're writing? Do you like to stay towards elements that are, what is it, like the surprise factor that,
well, yeah, I focus on thrillers or psychological thrillers. So I'm probably very versed in creating the tension and creating things that make the reader turn the page and find out what really is going to happen. I think that's probably my best forte in that novel writing. But the other thing I do that I don't know, I share this a lot when I talk out at my book releases and things. I talk about that I listen to music when I write, and usually it's orchestra music, but it's specifically orchestra music from major movies that I listen to while I write. And there's certain ones that seem to really draw out my creativity or really lets me put it to paper. And so that's why I do that.
So which ones are we allowed to know exactly?
Well, I can tell you again, I'll go back to E.T. when the main theme song for E.T., the flying scene and all of that, that really, for whatever reason, it just really takes me back. It just creates something in me to have the ability to really flow with my ideas.
The theme music for E.T. It always makes me want to cry.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and, but also there's other ones. There's all kinds of different ones that I listen to. The movie, A Beautiful Mind. I don't know if you,
gosh!
I listened to a lot of the songs from that because it really something about that just really is cool. It really makes my ideas flow, and so usually it's not music with words. Usually it's more the orchestra type music for movies.
The instrumentals, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. I like ambience. There's a difference between the and the am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it helps with writing. It's good. It's like the same thing. Like I listen to music when I draw. So same concept. You have a new book that's coming. And
yes.
It was featured in your introduction video. It's called Not My Province. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Not My Province is a dystopian thriller. I kind of subtitled it a novel of the next 10 years. And just to give you some secret to it, there's some secrets behind it right now, that it's really going to be, the first book is a novella, which means it's not going to be a full 100,000 or more word novel. It's going to be a novella, which may fall anywhere between 40 and 65,000 words. But then it's going to be a novella series, this dystopian thriller series. And so we'll be following the characters on in different ways throughout I don't know, whenever I finally say, well, that's enough.
I really like where you're going, though. I love your drive, and I hope you don't stop. I hope you keep going.
Yeah. Okay.
Are there going to be any sequels to any of your books?
Well, there's a lot of people that have messaged me about my first novel, Impulsivity, which is a true psychological thriller book. it's also the book that once I released it in October of 2023, I think. 24, maybe it's 24. I think that book right there, Impulsivity, October of 24. So 5.5 months later, I became an international author because of that book. I had books that were in Belgium, France, and Amsterdam, all in kind of the same time frame. So, but that book right there, it follows 2 female characters. They go on spring break and they do what most of us always kind of did when we were younger. We told our parents we were going one place and they made a decision to go somewhere else. And so that's where it all kind of goes awry for them. And I did something for the locals here in Florida, specifically here in Citrus County. I kind of used some description of geographics around local here, and a lot of the locals people who have bought it and read it, they say, I know where this is, I know where that is. I did that on purpose for them. So that people here, Floral City, Inverness, they can have a little more, I don't know what the word is, a little more, I don't know if it's pride in the book or know something that most don't know. But anyway, I've been told it's a very good book, but a lot of people said, I want to read a sequel to this book. So that is probably something.
You got to give them what they want.
Yeah, that is something that's probably in the works. So it's just, it's challenging the way that book went to try to, now where do I go? How do I make it more? You know, it's not as easy. It's not as easy. It's easier said than done. Do a sequel. So I'm working on that.
I understand completely. A lot of people feel like, and then once that second one comes out, you're like nervous to like, did it do justice?
Well, I left a lot of people. They feel like they need more closure on that story, and I did that on purpose. I did it on purpose. I did it on purpose. Yeah.
Keep the suspense. Keep them wanting more. Yeah. So, what was your second book after Impulsivity? Which one?
So Shadows of Helix was it's a novella. It's a novella. It's about, I think it ended up being a total of 35,000, almost 36,000 words. This book is really current. When it released, once you start reading it, everybody's going to say, yep, that's very current. And the other thing I'll tell you is that when you write, you need to write what you know. Mm-hmm. And so what I mean by that is both of these books, my first 2 books, all took place in the state of Florida. Because I'm born and raised here in Florida, so I wanted to write about what I know. And so it kind of helps you as a writer when you write about stuff that you know. This book is very current as far as it comes during the time of COVID. It comes during the time of a lot of new things happening, specifically in the state of Florida. And so a lot of people, some people really loved it. And then there were other people that loved the first one more. I get a lot of that. Everybody's different. And so, but this book I sold a ton of at my book release event right out of the gate. The Valerie was packed with people. That's where I released both my books. And so I had built some readership from my first book, and then the second time releasing at the Valerie Theater, it was packed. And so I sold a ton of that book. Did you read it?
Did you read the book to your audience?
So, excuse me now?
Did you read your book to the audience?
What I did in both times that I released there, I had professionals do the prologue and audio, and I played that over the speaker system there.
I love that. I really love that. Because not every writer wants to read their book. It doesn't mean that they want to read not every writer. I don't mean it like that because it sounded like you don't want to read your book. Not like that. But I mean, like, they don't want to sit up there and use their voice to sort of read because it can be exhausting. It can be exhausting. You know how many pages there are.
What I did in the first book, so in both of these books, when I released them at the Valerie Theater, I brought characters to life on stage.
Who's interested in purchasing your book already.
Yeah.
Hi,
and so,
hello, Ninja.
Say that again.
Right here. Her name is Ninja. She is interested in purchasing one of your books.
Okay, she can go to www.lelandship.com, just like my name spelled on the screen, and you can get one of the books or both. I sold both books at my second one, so I sold a lot of books at my second book release. I sold a lot of my first book and second book. So,
That's great.
Yeah. So just to let you know, on the first book, this book right here, Impulsivity. What I did is I turned all the lights out in the Valerie and played a woman who does professional voiceover for movies. Mm-hmm. And so it was pitch dark, and she was reading in a British accent, the prologue. And then right after that, she got done reading the prologue, and then the stage was covered in smoke, and my antagonist came out on the stage. And it was, you could hear a pin drop. People were kind of concerned because he was pretty creepy.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah, so it was that was a really cool. Both times I had characters come to, I brought them to life. So it's really interesting. And I always do book video trailers with my book, so I do show them that at the at the Valerie on the big screen. They got to see the video book trailer for both books when they were there. Like for Impulsivity, they saw Impulsivity, and for Shadows of Helix, they saw Shadows of Helix. But those book trailers are on my website also, so you can watch them there.
Right. And then so people want a sequel to this.
Yes, that book right there, Impulsivity.
What about Shadows of Helix?
I have not had anybody say they want to hear more. I've just heard that you really have a way to end a book. What they say.
But you know what? That right there is feedback, and that does say a lot. That means that you might have to do a sequel to this one too.
Yeah.
Just because sometimes people don't continue to say the same thing, but that is a way of saying that.
Yeah,
that's a way of them saying they want more.
Yeah, they do. They do, because I've got people who ask me, when is your next book coming out? And that's the next book right there. As you can see, I do a lot of work with people to make the covers look really good. I think that cover really stands out, and
it's creepy. It's haunting.
Yeah, I soon will have the video book trailers. So on my Facebook page, I have that video book trailer for that book on my Facebook page. But also I'm working on getting it up on my website right now so that people can see that, because that video book trailer is phenomenal. Just like all of them. All of them are.
I wish you gave it to me so I could have played it. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, it's all of my video book trailers. My production team do such a phenomenal job. I got a guy named Alex who heads it all up, and he does not disappoint ever. He does a great job, and a lot of people, they like to see that. They say it's really interesting that I do that, because they say a lot of authors don't do that. Well, I think it's cool to put together a video book trailer to give them an idea of what's going on in the book, or what they're really getting into, and it helps sells my book. I really believe that. I think that a lot of people, they go by that video book trailer, and then I hear them say, I watched that video book trailer, I had to buy the book, I read the book, I'm not disappointed. So it's just kind of a thing,
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that for you. That's awesome.
You get out of it what you put in it.
What you put into
it. And so for me, I don't worry about, a lot of people, I don't worry about the money aspect. I'm more focused on the reader. That's my priority, is the reader. I want to give them.
So far the readers are saying give them more.
Yes, they are.
So now you can't stop. You can't. No.
No, I'm working hard. I say, if most people, other authors who hear me say I write 1,000 words 5 times a week, they just shake their head, because they're like, wow, you're really getting after it. Yeah, because you write 5,000 words a week, in 12 weeks you've got a novel.
Right.
So that's why I do it.
And did you want to break down the difference between a novel and
Oh, novella. Yeah, novella is usually a novella can be up to about 55,000, 60,000 words. So normally a novel is 60 to 65,000 to 120 or 140,000 words. So that's the difference. It's the word count that makes it the difference. Novellas are normally shorter than novels.
Right. And then, and do you feel that it's false advertisement if a book says that it's titled novel, but it's not so?
No, I don't think it is. I think that like with Shadows, like not Shadows Helix, but with Not My Province, I put in is a subtitle across the middle of the page, and it says a novel of the next 10 years. No, because if you make that book 55,000, 60,000 words, it's right at a novel. But the reality is that, and this is something that your listeners are going to hear that most do not know yet. So this is a secret that this is actually going to be a novella series, and we're going to follow these characters on after this book. So there'll be a set of a whole set.
So we'll have like background stories.
Yeah, it'll be very. It would be very much like you're watching a streaming network series. So
it kind of reminds me a little bit of like Walking Dead, almost like when we go back and we see people's backstories a little bit.
Yeah, yes, yeah, it'd be like that. We're gonna follow. Yeah. We're gonna follow some different things. I don't know. So this book is kind of. I won't say it's my answer to The Handmaid's Tale that was dystopian fiction also, but it's sort of like it, but it's a little in a different way. It's not as much, it's just different. And I think that a lot of people will find that they'll be rooting for the people a lot more, and there may not be as much, I don't know if the word drudgery is the word, but there's going to be a lot of rooting for the people and the different characters and things. And I'm basing it off of, all this takes place and these changes come to the country and one dad says no. And so it's really interesting. It's just really going to really be, there'll be a lot of people interested, I think, once they get into the first one, and then they're going to want to read all the others because they're all going to flow so well and follow different, like you say, backstories to how all the characters end up or where they end up and all of that.
As a writer, do you prefer, like, because this is like creative writing, correct?
Yes.
So you would prefer to stay away from politics, correct?
I try not to get too involved in political stuff.
Because it takes away from the artistry. Like, it's like you want to focus on creative art and creative writing. You don't want to get caught up in what's going. Because I mean, isn't the whole point of when you write a book, you're trying to get people to escape from their everyday life. Why put something in the book that's about everyday life? If people they're already going through it, wouldn't you want to immerse them in something that's, like what you have? These look very immersive.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily political. It's just I think it's more because like even there are things in the movie in the original Star Wars that I could say you could apply politicalness to this. But the reality is can you make it to where, it can somewhat be like that, but the action, the suspense, the tension, all the different things, it really enthralls the reader into a different, like what you're talking about. So I'll create a world that enthralls him, and really politics isn't the thing. They're looking at, well, now they need to do this. Now they need to, how are they going to get out of this?
Yeah, the thing is that we're artists. We're not politicians. We're artists. And I feel like the whole point of being an artist is, helping a person, and whether they're watching a film or they're reading a book, escape from everyday
Yes.
life and the
Yes.
everyday troubles of life. Whether they're going to escape to be scared, you're going to put them on the edge of their seat. Just
Mhm.
take them away from what we already have to deal with when we turn on the TV
Yes,
and
and
we watch the news.
that's to me, that's the writer's responsibility, and world development and
Mhm.
character arcs, and like for me as a thriller writer, to create that thrill, if you will, or that suspense, the tension, and make leave it where they're on the hook and have to turn the page and find out what really happens. That to me, that's where you can get away from that and take them places in their mind, like um, I
I
don't know,
have
just
some.
like just
I
like
have somebody
impulsivity.
I do have to meet. I have somebody that you need to meet.
Yeah. Well, it's just like my book Impulsivity. Look, it takes place in Florida. And pretty much the majority of it takes place in the same small area. But
Well, I heard
through
that they
all the
did
different
film.
things, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just saying, through all the different characters and their arcs, and all of the tension and the thrill, the suspense, you forget all about that. You don't sit there and go, well, we're in Florida, even though some of the descriptiveness of what's going on, you can tell you're in Florida, but most people are more focused on what these characters are going through. And I really put these two girls specifically. They go through a lot of stuff that a lot of people said I couldn't even hardly read this part because I have a phobia of this or I have a phobia of that,
Mm,
and it was just really scary or kind of creepy. But yeah, to me, yeah, you can do it. You don't need to get all into political stuff. You don't all like even Shadows of Helix. I think this book really became, even though there may be something that some people say, oh, he's talking about COVID there. Well, the truth of the matter, it has nothing to do with none of that. It all has to do with the world that I built, which may be similar to what we live in. I can't help that, but it is the greed, the elite people that do things and have the money and the resources to make things happen. And sometimes that's just reality, but at the same time, you take
I
that and
love what you're
twist it.
saying.
Yeah,
I
you
love
take
what
that
you're
and
saying.
twist it
It is so
around.
strong.
And so
I
then
love
you
it.
got people cheering for what your characters are actually doing to those people.
Because
You know
you
what I
know what,
mean?
Leland, there's so many people that try to relate an artist's work, whether that's writing, drawing, or a film. They try so difficult. They try so very hard to relate it to real life. Like, oh, this is secretly about this that's going on. And I'm like, no, it's coincidental a lot of times. True or false?
I understand. Yeah, that's true. Probably coincidental, but same time, um, I always try to take it further out than just what we know, just to
Hmm.
take them to another thought. Well, what if? See,
I love
that's a
the
big
what if.
question
I
when you're a
love that.
writer. When you're a writer of this stuff, like especially thrillers, psychological thrillers, you
Hmm.
need to always be thinking, what if? And I do a lot of that. I spend a lot of time going through, and some of the two books I've written, they had total different directions than they originally had, because I sat and pondered and mulled over and thought about and then changed things. And so it is all for the reader. It's nothing for me. It's for the reader. I want the reader to have that experience. And that's why I write. I do it to hear people talk about my stories to me, going, holy cow, could you imagine being this person in this particular situation? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, that's why I come up with that, because I want that to be like that. I want it to be exciting. I want it to be scary. I want it to be suspenseful. I want it to be a world that you're like, you can't imagine being in.
Yeah, and what would you say to those who they aspire to write, they have ideas in their minds, but they've never gotten started? And the first thing that they want to ask is, "Hey, Leland, where do I start?"
I would say either put it pen to paper or get it on typing it up. Just start. See what you don't just write it all. Just keep going. Then you can go back and read through it, and then you can you can fix it or whatever, but just get your stuff down on paper, or on, on your Word, Microsoft Word, or whatever you're writing on. Just get it done. Just start writing. Writers write. Just start writing. It doesn't have to be perfect. Trust me, I write 1,000 words a day, and I still have to go back and fix a ton of stuff. But
Right,
you got to get it down first.
There's some people who are like, well, I'm dyslexic. I write letters backwards.
Write it.
The whole point is just write it. Write it down.
Just write it. Yeah, just write it, because worst case scenario, no matter what, like for me, I still, even once I've done it and I've read it, and then I'll send it to 3 or 4 different editors after I let ARC readers read it a little bit and tell me their thoughts, and then I keep fixing and doing, and eventually I get to the end product. But the reality is, just write. I can't stress that enough, because if you don't just start writing, you're never going to develop the habits or the disciplines to be able to do a book. You've got to write and get discipline. And a lot of people say, well, I don't have the time. Well, here's the deal. You don't have to sit down and write 1,000 words. You got to break it up small. Like, you work, okay, well, maybe when you get off work.
Notes,
Yeah. That's what I do. I sleep with spirals by my bed, because I wake up at 2 a.m. and write stuff down, and because that's where a lot of this stuff comes from. You start getting into it, and these ideas just flow to you, and you never know what time. I'm never without pen and paper. Even doing shows, people were looking at me and go, look, you got legal pad, you got 3 pens, I said, yeah, because it has nothing to do with what this theatrical performance. This has to do with my writing.
And then what would you say to someone who has writer's block?
Well, I often believe that, like for me, I always say I never get it. And some people, there's a lot of authors that laugh at me, but I think that
relate.
I do this.
I can relate. I don't get writer's block. I'm sorry. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't. But here's the truth to that. So say I am getting into something like that, like, oh man. Then I start looking at the scene or whatever, and I'll add a gun just out of the blue. And then once I add a gun, and then I figure out who's got the gun and what's going to happen, it gets me rolling, thinking through. So that's just one idea, like add a gun to the scene. And even though that may not even be in the book, at least you're still writing, you're still drawing it out, because that's what you're looking for. Most people, they say get writer's block and I stop. Well, I don't. I try to twist the story, and get something different to where I can start thinking a different way. Or even if I know deep down in my heart what I'm writing right now is going to be total trash and out of the book, but I'll still do it.
I've heard some people, like, they'll write, and they have like this really, really twisted, universe that they're creating. And the first thing that I remember, because I'm not gonna say specific names, give their project away because it's still in development, but like one of the things that I recall them saying was that they're scared that they're going to lose track of what the whole point of the story is, and that they're afraid that they're gonna lack continuity.
Oh, well. Well, that's what your editors are there for. They'll tell you, or your beta readers. Your beta readers, your ARC readers, they'll all pick. If you have that in there and it's something like that, they will tell you that. You have plenty of time to correct it before you ever get close to printing. I promise you.
And which one of your books did you have the most fun writing?
I don't know. I had a lot of fun with both of those first two. And this one, Impulsivity is probably the funnest, because it's just one that I really put a lot of twisted stuff in, and knew that people were going to really respond to it. And but they both have things in them that make me my first 2 books, and even my third one that's coming out in June. It's got cool things, and I just find that what you were talking about, where the writer is trying to take people and get them to forget about the real world and get in another world. I'll give you an example. I don't always sit at home and write. I go out to different places, whether it's out in the woods or out public libraries. And I remember I was in a public library writing Shadows of Helix, and I was really into it. And then all of a sudden I kind of stepped back from typing and looked up, and there were all these people around me, and I didn't even know they were there because I was so into writing the story that I was totally checked out of what was happening around me. And
so you were in the zone. You were in the zone. You're like, I'm in my zone right now. I am not focused on it. What's happening around me or why? I just accept what's going on right now in your next door neighbor.
Yeah, it happens. That's how it goes down. I mean, when you're really trying to get it to do stuff, you get like that. And then, yeah, I think, just like I say, I would tell people that are new writers that don't worry. Like, a lot of people think, I'm going to write this book and I'm going to make millions of dollars. I'm going to tell you, you need to forget about the money. Write because you love to write. Write for the readers. Write for that reason, and you'll always be blessed. I promise. But most people, they go into it with a different motivation, and then they end up very frustrated and disappointed, because I'll just tell you, the last time I checked, around the globe in 1 year, I believe that there's almost 2 million books published every year now. That's a lot of books. That's a lot more than used to be published. And so there's a lot of competition. It's just insane what's happening right now with the number of all the indie authors.
Do you think that it's encouraging people to still go to libraries and read?
Well, I see that here locally. So like University of Central Florida over in Lecanto, my Impulsivity book is in their library, and it's in the Citrus County library system here. So I see people come in and check out books and my book and everything else. So I think people still do read. I see a lot of full libraries around here now. I can't speak for the whole country. We're in a digital age, so that's why it's challenging for newspapers, because everything's gone digital. It's like newspapers.
Do you have any audio books, like audio versions of the book?
I am in the process of getting my first one and then my second one done in audio. I haven't yet because it's very costly. It's not cheap, because I'm not going to be the one reading it. It's got to be somebody that's a professional reader.
Right. I like that. What other advice can you give to someone who may feel like they don't have all of the the tools necessary to get a book published? The first question that would be was, well, how do I get my book published? Once I'm done writing it, and do I have to have editors review it first? Like, what they're going to probably want to know the steps.
Yeah, so I'll tell you that there's tons of resources out there that you can Google, and there's plenty of stuff on the topics of being an indie author, but I would tell you that to answer one of those questions, you're going to want somebody else to read it, because you need some. So like I have ARC readers, I have an ARC reader team, I have a beta reader team, and then I have editors that I trust and have worked with, and they don't always agree with me, and that's why I use them, because I don't want somebody that's just going to tell me what I want to hear. I want the finished product to be the best it can be. And so the ARC readers and beta readers, they're pretty straightforward. They'll tell you that I don't know what you're doing here with this character, but this part of the book really lost me, and so that you got to work on it and hone it in. But there are different steps that you need to go through. But the first one is you need to write it first, get it on paper, get it down, because that's the hardest step, I think, is getting the book done like that, and then having people read it, and then having people do different things to tell you how you can make it better. And that's really what I would challenge people is write it first and worry about the next step after that. But you're going to want people reading it because they'll be honest with you. They'll tell you whether it's good or not. And because you don't want to try to sell a book that's not good, because the people today, they'll get on social media and talk about it. And if they did not finish it, or they call it a DNF, they will tell a bunch of people on the internet that they DNF'd your book.
And you have do you have like workshops?
I have not. I had thought about doing that, starting some of that, like locally, like in the library, a library here in Inverness, to give some writers workshops. But a group I'm involved with, the Citrus Writers Group, there are authors that do that already. So there's resources here locally for us.
Well, what if I knew somebody who probably would be very comfortable reaching out to you to get that guidance?
Sure. Yeah. Well,
And
that's
maybe
fine.
maybe
You just go to my website, go to www.lelandshipp.com and
I think
message.
that I could shoot this person to you who they're not really strong at spelling because of their dyslexia.
Okay.
But they have great ideas. And
Okay.
I feel like you would very much enjoy working with them, bringing their idea to life and helping them.
Well, I'll just share this. I'll share this with you. I have my own press company. Cool Ibis Press is my press company. Mm-hmm. I am working with young writers now, kind of like what you're talking about.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that to me.
Yeah. So I'm doing that sort of now. And what I'm trying to do is really encourage younger people to write. But yeah, that'd be a great thing, and maybe we could work out, and I could help them through that process. They can use.
I think you have to define younger, because some people might think, okay, is the age limit like 18 below? Is it?
There's no age limit with me. It's just that these local younger people, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, have talked to me about, hey, I'm writing, can you help me? But I'm willing to do
36.
Yeah, I'm willing to mentor anybody and help them. And like I say, we could work out a deal, put them under my press company if they want, and we can hook them up with my editors, my people, and run with it.
Yeah, I would love for you to meet this person. Matter of fact,
that's the truth. Once you've done it, you've got experience that most don't have, right? So once you've gone through the whole process, you learn.
I'm going to shoot them your way so that, you can give them guidance. I think I would very much, because this person probably has already spoken to me, but I just feel like it's a conflict of interest. Like me working with some of my friends, for me, it's a conflict of interest because they're not seeing me as the profession that I do. They're seeing me as their best friend, and they're forgetting to look at me as the professional that I am. So I figured to shoot this person your way because I feel like you'll give them the proper guidance. And
I'll be direct and non-sugar coated, and we're not friends. You know what I mean? About that. I mean, I'll help them, but I can say this isn't that good or whatever, and not, I'm just going to be honest. That's the big thing. I tell my beta readers and ARC readers all the time, just be honest. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Because you got to know what the product you're providing, is it any good or not? And if you have a problem with some of it, you need to tell me. Don't just say, "Oh yeah, it's great." I mean, I want to know specifics about where I need to improve, and that's what most people need. Is they need somebody to do that for them and say,
right. And at the same time, what you may not like, someone else that does what you do might like it.
Yeah, you never know.
And they might say, I think you have something. We just have to fine tune it.
Yeah, you never know. It's an interesting world, this writing world.
I think that you can create anything. You just have to, like I said, fine tune it. It might have to just, you can make anything work. It's amazing what you can make work. I mean, I've seen it with B movies. Speaking of that, would you ever, or are you thinking about making any one of these books into a play?
Well, I'll tell you that I am The first book, Impulsivity, I have someone trying to work with Hulu to get it some way produced with them, and they run it. Or I also have a connection out in Los Angeles that maybe a movie they're trying to get going out there, or turn this. I'm maybe going to have to turn Impulsivity into a script for a movie. But the truth be known, it was that guy that told me to write the book and don't do the script. So it's kind of interesting. Now I'm looking to try to make this novel into a movie, even after he told me write the book. And I did write the book. But anyway, I did one-on-one time with author Harlan Coben on my first book. And a lot of people know who that is. And so I acknowledged him in my acknowledgments because he challenged me when we were meeting. And so he challenged me, saying, I've never seen one of these psychological killer people play with dolls. And so I'm kind of giving some away. But anyway, that's why that book cover for Impulsivity looks like it looks, is because author Harlan Coben challenged me. And he's doing every streaming there is. He's doing Paramount Plus, Hulu, because he's sold a ton of books. And he's all about, his books are all based on usually around missing people. And so he does some really interesting things with that. And so anyway, I spent a little time with him.
That's really dark. It's real dark.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Impulsivity is a dark book. I'm just going to tell you up front. And I think a lot of people told me they really enjoyed. So some of my chapters in that book are maybe 5 paragraphs long in that first novel, Impulsivity. And the reason why is because those chapters are in first person of the antagonist. So it really takes you into his mind, and you really get to see and experience it to be like, wow, you got a question if that was me and I went through this or that. And he's talking about, even as a kid or whatever, it just kind of shows how sometimes some of these people who end up being these really bad people really got treated and done wrong from the get-go. And anyway, it's just but those chapters in there that are first person, a lot of people have commented a lot about that they really enjoyed being in his mind like that.
Do you agree with that evil is not born, it's made?
Well, we can go a lot of ways with that. I would say that I believe once that Satan is real, right? I believe he's a real being, Satan. Mm-hmm. And so with that being said, the fact that he is the prince of this world, so to speak, he's sitting on the throne right now, and there's nothing pleasant or nothing that is good with him. It's all evil. So I would say that I think that from the get-go, I think it's evil out of the chute because he makes it that way. That's just my opinion. But you can be what you say. I think there's some people who've been through you look at some of these serial killers and look at how they were raised, or you look at even people that played professional sports and what their dads put them through to get there, and then they end up doing some violent things in the end or whatever. There's something about that. There's something about that.
Because I would say, like, if it is, evil is born, not created, if that's more like nature over nurture. And then if it's evil is created, not born, then it's nurture over nature.
Yeah.
So I guess it just depends.
But I guess there's people that have been that way. There's been people that have been born and done things that never had a great childhood. So there's So there's a lot of things. There's so many different factors.
Wrong or not.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors and a lot of it just depends. I don't know.
Because
every circumstance is different.
The evil one might say, "I'm the only one that was naturally born this way."
That may be. Mm-hmm.
You know, that might be like an arrogant thing that the evil one would say. I am the only one that was born this way, but I'm going to turn every single one of you into my little subjects.
Yeah. There's a lot of and we're seeing a lot of darkness today, man. A lot of evil today. It's happening on a daily basis. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have to pray. Pray, please pray, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love that you have given us this material, this content to read.
Yeah.
I very much look forward to purchasing your books. I know the website to go to. Thank you so much. And for everybody else who wants to purchase one of your books, the information is below.
Yeah.
It's correct, isn't it?
It is. It is right. Yes. Yes.
And I really would love to have you back, especially since you do have this Not My Province book coming out.
Yes. Sure.
Let me put the date for that.
June 5th. It's June the 5th is my target date. Yeah. Yeah,
June the 5th is the target date. And so after which, we're going to have to definitely have you back on the show so that we can find out the updates. I got to get the pictures for when I gather you're going to go to the Valerie to.
No, I'm not. I'm actually going to two different places. I'm going to two different places, but they're going to be here. One is there. I can't talk about it. One of them right now.
Listen, we'll find out later. We'll find out.
I'll send you the information once all the legalese are done. I can't talk about one of them.
Confidential information.
But just know I'm gonna try to have two different book release events, probably on June the 5th, and one will be earlier than the other one.
Okay.
And it'll be at two different locations. So just know that I'm going to do that for this book because I'm trying to help somebody out, and it all makes sense.
Please send me the information so that I can show my support and I can be there. I will do just that.
Don't worry.
Yes, thank you.
I will provide it all as soon as I get it all legal deed under. Says I'm not done it like this.
So much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Leland, it's been awesome having you. I thank you so much for being a part of this show. I think one of the other questions I wanted to ask was, as a writer, have you found it more fulfilling to write and immerse yourself in a different world rather than live in the real world?
Well, I probably would find it interesting if I could make what I write become real, and then I would put myself in the world I want to be in.
I love that. There's some people that would say that. There's some people that would say that everything that we think of, basically, it already exists somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Whether it's in our universe or some alternate universe.
But I probably wouldn't. I could create a world that I would want to live in if I wrote it, but not in my thriller book. Not as a thriller author. I would not want to live in some of these worlds that I have created.
No, I don't blame you. And that being that, one of the other questions that I did not ask that everybody's going to be like, hey, you didn't ask the main question. I always ask everybody when they appear on my show. Now, I know you've answered this already, but I got to ask it anyway because of the people in the comment section. They're going to want to know. What is your zodiac sign?
I'm Taurus.
You're a Taurus.
I am.
You're the bull.
I'm the bull.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That's perfect because the person I'm going to shoot your way, she's a Taurus too.
Uh-oh.
So you both are going to get along great. Oh my gosh, yes. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
So, yes. Oh my gosh, Leland. You know what's funny is that you did tell me, but for some reason I forgot that you said Taurus, and I never forget when somebody tells me they're a Taurus. Never.
Yeah. So I've got a birthday coming eventually, not tomorrow, but soon.
No, May, right? Wouldn't that be May?
April.
Oh, you're in April. That's probably why I forgot, because I figured you were so close to Aries that I forgot.
I fall in at the tail end of that. So.
Oh my gosh. I'm so proud of you. I'm sorry. Shout out to all the Tauruses out there.
Yeah.
We just had one. She said she wanted to buy your book. She said, yeah, that's what she said. She says, truly awesome. I want a copy. So
Yeah.
I'll give her the information. She's the young lady that you would be working with.
Okay.
I'm going to send her over to you so you can work the magic.
I will.
I know you will. I trust you. I'm going to send her your way.
Yeah. I'll take care of it.
And if you do decide to do a play based off of, now it doesn't have to be no musical, but if you do decide to do a play based off of your book, any of your books, I'm happy to.
Well, I'm just going to let you know something. I have written a Christmas thriller play that a director and a producer are interested in. We're working on honing it up, getting it ready so that we might be able to get it done this year, maybe. So instead of what we did this last December, we'll do this one.
Okay.
The Christmas thriller. What do you think?
I like it. Let me know. And, shout out to the Valerie. If anybody's going to do Hocus Pocus, I'll be your Winifred Sanderson. I got the outfit and everything.
There you go.
Well, we're going to close down this episode. It is thundering and lightning, and I know it's going to mess up with my instruments. But we had a great episode. We had a great show. I had an awesome time with you, Leland.
Yeah,
and this is not the last time that I'm going to have you on my show. Hopefully, I gotta see an update. Everybody has to be updated.
Okay. Well, whenever you want to do it, let me know.
All right. I'll get together with you later. Everybody, please be sure to check out Leland's books. Again, his Not My Province is scheduled to be released June 5th. And if you are interested in purchasing any of his books, definitely go check out his website, www.lelandshipp.com, to purchase one of his original books. You definitely don't want to miss out, and you don't want to be one of those people that, oh my gosh, if it's not around no more, it's going to be your fault. So definitely get out there and purchase his book. All right, Leland, I'll see you later. Ciao.
Thank you, Lily.
Everybody be safe. It is thundering. It is crazy out tonight. Love you, and God bless.